Hello and welcome back to Hal Tech TV. I know again it's kind of a little change of scenery. We are back in the bigger area to record, and that's because we have the Coolmaster N200 here. Now I'm sorry about the colour of the backdrop. Now it's not the best colour for camera and it's kind of nicer in person, but it's not good for lighting and such. These are the things we will be working on in the future. We are trying to work on production quality and everything, as you can probably tell with the upgraded camera equipment, but also, you know, that's not the only thing when it comes to a nice video. But moving on from that, onto what the video is about, we have the Coolmaster N200 here, and we're going to be doing an unboxing today, and we will have a video review and a written review up on this product soon afterwards, and if you want to check them out, the links will be down below when they are up, but for now we have the unboxing, so let's take a look at the Coolmaster N200 Micro-ATX case. So guys, I'll give you a quick look around the box and I'll talk a bit about it while I do so, because there's a few things that really caught my eye about this particular case. First off, compared to the 400 and 600, this is Micro-ATX, and it will probably say that somewhere. So it's got USB 3, it supports up to 160mm CPU coolers and 355mm graphics cards, as well as a 240mm radiator in the front, which is good for water cooling on a Micro-ATX case. And you also, it's kind of like a professional industrial design, kind of both of the two mixed into one. But round the side, I don't know if you can see there, but you've got the specification. If you can see that, then zoom in and like full screen it and read it if you want. And then we've got the kind of internal structure layout on this side as well. That's basically all you're going to get on this particular case. So let's open it up. Now, a few things, like I said, that stood out to me with this case. One was the Micro-ATX form factor, which I personally love, which is why I wanted this one specifically over the 400 or the 600, because while the 400 isn't kind of full tower in the same sense that the 600 is, it is still ATX, and I prefer the smaller motherboards, as you will probably see in the next few weeks / months. But also the price. Now, Coolmaster have been known to produce really good quality cases at really cheap prices. That's why 9 out of 10 pre-built systems have Coolmaster cases, because you get the build quality, which increases efficiency in production, but also you get the cheap price point, which is very similar to worse built cases from less known brands. And I like the look, as well as a few interesting internal features. So let's take it out of this not very attractive brown box. I hate it when the handles get caught inside. Right, so brown box away. So we have the case, which is currently upside down, and we have a little guide here for basically everything to do with this case. Now, for some people this will be necessary, because there's a few extra features which kind of appear out of nowhere on this particular case, and which is the right way around it. So this way. So I'll just take the packaging off and try and get it out the frame, and then take off this plastic wrapping, which I might add has improved over some of the older plastic wrap on Coolmaster cases, which felt a lot harsher on the actual case. So there we have the N200, and I'll pause the video and give you a nicer angle and a better look around. So I apologise for the lighting. It's actually really quite hard to get the capture the front in all its beauty with the lighting, without it being harsh, and with the camera actually picking it up. So here we have the front. We have a single 5¼ inch drive bay, and then below that a 3½ inch drive bay. We also have a power switch, reset switch,
I believe that's the hard drive activity LED. It might just be the power LED. Headphone and microphone ports, 2 USB 2 and 1 USB 3. Now there is an advanced version, in which case these are reversed and you have 2 USB 3 and 1 USB 2. However, this is just a basic version. We didn't bother with the advanced version. We have the Cooler Master logo down here. Now this is a plastic strip that goes down the front, and the rest of it is this mesh design, which is like a double mesh, in which below it is another layer of mesh which is like circular holes, but this is, I can't remember the name, but it's the Japanese kind of design where they're rectangular holes, but they're at alternating heights from layer to layer. I believe I've explained that well enough for you to understand it, but you should be able to pick it up on the camera pretty well anyway. If you can't, check out the written review when that's published, because we will definitely have good enough pictures that really show this off for what it is. Now, other than that, I do want to point out that when you remove the 5 1/4 inch drive bay, there will be a chunk here in this plastic bezel bit that will be removed, so it won't be as sleek as it looks right now if you do put a 5 1/4 inch drive bay in. But then again, that happens anyway with any product that you put in this drive bay. So on the right hand side we have no holes, but it is bulged out a little here for cable management. Now this is good for having the extra room for cables, but at the same time I don't particularly like these kind of designs, because it means that you can't lie them flat with walls and that kind of thing, but you do get the extra cable management there. On the top we have what appears to be a 120/140mm cutout, which is double meshed, so you have the hexagonal punched holes, but then you also have a little mesh layer that's been added in, which is spherical, so you get a double layer look to it, which I really like. They had this on the Elite 120 when I reviewed it, on the top side again, and I really liked that. But moving round to the left hand side, you will find the same sort of bulge on the side, but this time with a cutout for your side panel fan, which is in this case 120mm. Moving round to the back, you have proof there that it's a Micro-ATX based case, because we have your I/O cutout, 4 I/O ports, 2 holes to be punched out if you want to do water cooling, ATX power supply, and I believe another 120mm fan with 92 and 80mm holes in case you want to go that route. So let's go and have a look on the inside. So I'm standing on the left side now because of lighting. You can probably see me here, but we have a bag of cable ties and all the screws that you need for this case. Now, one thing I hate about black cases is that it's so hard to light up the interior and get you a good look at it in video, but I'm going to try. So in terms of cables in the front, we have one USB 2.0 connector, one USB 3.0 connector, your AC97/HD audio connectors, which I would prefer if it was just a HD audio, and then you also have your power LED, HD LED, and power and reset switches. So that's those cables. As you can see already, you have a 120mm in the front and a 120mm in the back, already pre-installed in this case. Now, apologies, you can just fit a 120mm in the top. I looked through and it does just say 120mm. It is offset though as well, so it's offset, making it better for installation without coming into like interference problems with any sort of cooling on your power delivery. But that being said, moving on from that, you can see that we have our 5 1/4 inch drive bay there, our 3.5 inch drive bay there. The 3.5 inch drive bay is removable, and as you can probably see, these holes here show that that's where you can mount one of your internal 2.5 inch hard drive slots. But Other than that, we also have two 3.5-inch drive bays down here, two 2.5-inch drive bays over here, and I believe there is somewhere else, oh yes, one 2.5-inch drive bay on top of here. So you have internal two 3.5-inch and four 2.5-inch drive bay areas, because you can't really call them cages or drive bays essentially, actually, because they're all over the place. But this means that you don't have to kind of pick and choose between 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch, because you'll have them all over the place, and they're in a way at the back here and up here and down here and up here, sorry, in a way that they won't interfere with graphics cards and such. But that's our internal drive bays. We have a massive cutout here for your CPU cooler. We have good like a good internal layout for cable management, given that this is a very small case, especially being that it's still Micro-ATX. Now I'd say this is probably even smaller than, say, a BitPhoenix Prodigy, and this is fitting a Micro-ATX form factor in, as well as being able to fit all the water cooling like you could on the Prodigy. But this is smaller essentially, but can fit more. So that's what we have here. You have your power supply mounted in the bottom, which does have, I don't know if you can see, but it does have rubber mounts here, as well as a dust filter on the bottom, which I will try and pull out. So you've got a dust filter on the bottom for your power supply intake if you are going to mount it fan down. In fact, I'll just leave that there because I can't get it back on. What else is there to say other than I'll take the back panel off and I'll take the front panel off and give you a look from those angles. So I'll be back in a second. So I'm on the other side again, but really this is what it looks like from the back, and as you can probably tell, there is a lot to see. So not only do we have this massive cutout that I pointed out before, as well as the holes for cable management, which are actually quite interesting and nicely located, but also we have a ton of cable tie loops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as well as other places in which I would not be worried about actually putting cable ties on. So there's other places around here, because there's so many holes and little areas on this back kind of panel area to actually use and take advantage of. And this is what I like about cases. This isn't a video review. Wait for the video review for most of my opinions, but this is what I like about cases. I like it when there's so many things that you can do and do them differently, and it gets you thinking, and it gets you to create ideas, and it just essentially design your system completely different from what maybe someone else would do with exactly the same stuff. So I personally really like this. But now let's go and take a look at the front panel without the front panel on. So here we've got the front panel. Now this is what it looks like off, and it does have it does have quite a bit of weight to it, especially for what is essentially a bit of metal and plastic. And I like this. It doesn't feel like it's going to break like a lot of them do when you pull them off. A lot of them I'm actually quite scared to pull off in case they snap. But what you will notice straight away is that all the front panel connectors are connected, not to the front panel kind of fascia, but rather to the case itself. So we have all of the connections here, and it's all nice and lovely, with a nice little Cooler Master logo there on the PCB. Now I would not be too worried about actually inserting the fans here on this side and then putting that on. In fact, I believe it's intentionally possible for the water cooling, and that's why you have this little hole down here. But other than that, you will also notice here's the screws to remove the 3.5-inch drive bay. The 5 1/4 is riveted on, so you'd have to drill that out if you wanted that off. But yes, that is just about it. That's what the front looks like. What else is there to mention? Oh yes, in terms of the front fanners, they aren't specifically drilled, so you've got spacers here, which is perfect for the radiators. Like they said on the box, it's perfect for 240mm radiators in the front, with different threading gaps. I've forgotten what the exact terminology is. But that's that, and I'll put my face back on the tripod and I'll say goodbye.
So here's me with a fully dissected N200. Now I will be getting straight on with the written review now. I will be reviewing it over the next few days, giving you my opinions and whatnot in the review, which should be out probably a few days after this goes live, because this won't go live as soon as it's been recorded. But this is the Cooler Master N200 unboxing. If you want to check out the video review and written review, the links will be down below when they are live. I am Hal Thompson. This has been another Hal Tech TV video. Don't forget to subscribe, and goodbye.